Nakakausap natin si Professor Jose Victor Torres ng Department of History ng DLSU University.
Magandang gabi po sa inyo, Professor Torres. Thank you for joining us.
Magandang gabi, Miss Mayan. Magandang gabi, Sir Ed, at sa inyong mga tagapanood. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat.
Thank you, sir, for joining us. Sir, sa pagkamatay nga ng Reyna, ang daming Pilipino naghahanap ng koneksyon sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at ng Britanya. Pero siguro, lingid sa kalaman ng maraming Pilipino, ang connection natin goes way back, 260 years. Can you tell us about that connection?
Yeah, actually, our direct connection dito sa British Empire actually began with the British invasion of the Philippines. No, but I have to emphasize also na meron na tayong initial contacts with them because you have to remember that the parts of Asia were already being colonized by the English, and of course there was trade between the Spanish colony and of course and the colonies of the empire. No, and this would funny about it that this would start actually with a war, but eventually end with the economic activities that would define the colonial identities of Spain in the 19th century.
Pero Prof, yung invasion ng Britanya dito sa Pilipinas, ano nangyari doon? At gaano katagal ang tinagal noon?
Yeah, actually ang nagsimula kasi yan, yung 7 Years' War, between it was actually between England and France lang. Ang problema lang, allied with France ang Spain. So eventually, England decided also to declare war on Spain. Hindi tayo in-attack from England sa Europe. Kung hindi, all the British warships came from Madras in India. No? And what was interesting about this was that the British invasion was almost half an economic venture kasi ang nag-supply ng ships was the East India Company, the British East India Company, that supplied, of course, the military and of course the military supplies to the Philippines, no? And it was from them na dumating yung British governor that would rule our country for the next 2 years, so 1762 to hanggang 1764.
Alright, ako muna. Sir, sigundaan ko lang, ako naman po doon na sa transition ng aking tanong. May nakikita ho ba tayo, Prof, na pagbabago sa relasyon ng Pilipinas at UK ngayong may bagong hari na pong uupo?
Actually, I don't see anything new, because ever since naman dito sa dating reign ng Elizabeth, maraming nag-improve ang relations natin with the British, no? Especially in the case of health workers, no? Because we are sending nurses to England, of course, no? And our relationship culturally with the British government has improved, no? Actually,
After, sir, meron ako,
they let it deteriorate, no? It actually improved.
After you, sir, meron ako.
Sige, Bok, ikaw na.
Okay, sige. Sir, balikan ko lang yung pagpanaw ni Japan Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, 'di ba? Marami rin ho ang nakiramay doon ng mga Pilipino precisely because alam nating mga Pinoy, Japan has been very helpful to us. Ako, siguro yung praktikal lang, is UK very helpful or friendly to the Philippines, especially the Queen? Meron bang mawawalang tulong sa atin or pinangangambahan tayong mawawalang tulong sa ating mga Pinoy ngayong wala na siya? May ganun ba?
Kailangan natin intindihin yung relationship natin with the British Empire, no? The Queen runs the country, but the Prime Minister and the Parliament runs the government, no? And of course, all our political background is with the government, no? So many of the cultural aspects, many of the slightly economic aspects, sometimes also goes with the royalty, no? Sila pa rin yung representative. Pero ang halos lahat ng ating pagpapatakbo ng trade relations and everything, it falls with the government. So ang nag-determine din yan ay yung Prime Minister na, pati yung Parliament.
Tama.
Prof, balikan ko lang yung 2-year adventure ng Britanya dito sa Pilipinas noong 1762. Ano ba lang iniwan niya ng legacy dito sa Pilipinas? What you might call a legacy?
The biggest legacy that was during that period, would actually be the soldiers that chose to remain here in the Philippines, because the soldiers that arrived here with the British invading forces were not just British soldiers. Many of them were also sepoys, mga Indians, no? And when they eventually left to go back to England in 1764, many of the sepoy soldiers decided to stay here and settle in Cainta. No? Kaya sinasabi nila may mga ibang areas daw dito sa Cainta, sa Rizal, ay may mga Indian features. No? Kung if you want to use the local term, may bombayin yung mga features. No? And apparently, these were descendants of the sepoys who decided to remain here. No? And also the sepoys brought in their culture with regards to textiles. You know? Many of the sinasabi ng Indian textiles that were based on the British I forgot the term, no? But the British mills that were done at the time were also part of the economic ventures that was brought here in the Philippines.
Parang ironic na yung tangible British legacy rito is not really even British to begin with.
Yeah, ganyan lang siya. That's the irony, no? Oh, yeah.
Okay, maraming po salamat sa inyong oras, Professor Victor Torres ng De La Salle University.
Thank you, sir.